Hello, it is Foundation Friday, February 7th, 2020. Steve Sipress here, back with our multi-part series on the great book, How to Be Rich by J. Paul Getty, written about 55 years ago, a little more. And last time we did from the end of his chapter 2, where he has 10 fundamental rules to the game of success, the game of business. And we did the first 5 because he's got 10 of them. And now we'll do the next 5, and they're a little lengthy. So prepare for a little longer video than the last one of the first 5 rules, which were pretty quick and simple. But these are powerful and still applicable today. So this is timeless wisdom from the person that was, at the time he wrote this, the richest person on earth. So might want to pay attention and implement these ideas. So number 6 out of 10 says the businessman, and all these, everything he said was about men. So translated to the businessman or woman, business person, whatever you want to say. The entrepreneur, let's say the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur must be constantly alert for new ways to improve his or her products and services and increase his or her production and sales. So constantly alert for improvement. Should also use prosperous periods. Now this is real important. And I just talked about this the other day on a video, and I hadn't even, read ahead to these rules for this week. When I read it just this afternoon, I was like, man, I just talked about that. So who knew? This might be where I got it from when I first read this book and dog-eared and underlined and tore it to rags about 30 years ago or so, and it's stayed with me ever since. And I've taught this to many other of my clients as I partner and coach them, and partner with them, coach them in business, help them out. This is real important, and this is applicable to today with a booming economy. Use prosperous periods to find ways by which techniques may be improved and costs lower. So lower your costs during a boom time. Sounds counterintuitive, but here's why. Because it's only human for people to give little thought to economies when business is booming. That's when people are wasteful. Business is booming. I got plenty of money. Let's, oh no, I dropped the book and lost my place. The beauty of live video. Let's see if it opens right back up to the page. Anyway, so, when times are booming, people say, I got a few $1,000, I'll buy that course, or I'll throw it into some Facebook ads, and who cares if it doesn't work? Money is flowing. I got plenty of clients. Things are happening, but here we are. So as Getty points out, no, that's the time to have economy, right? Because during the boom time, that, however, is just the time when the entrepreneur has the mental elbow room to examine your operations calmly and objectively, and thus affect important savings without sacrificing quality. See, when things are booming, you're calm and you're thoughtful and you're making smart decisions. So that's the time to look around and say, where can I cut some costs, and where can I make some improvements? And as Getty points out, many businessmen wait, or entrepreneurs will say, many entrepreneurs wait for lean periods to do these things. And as a result, here's the danger, often hit the panic button and slash costs in the wrong places. I see that all the time. I was, during my 3.5-year stint working for a Yellow Page publisher, I started there in, 2005 or 2006. So I was there when the old Bush, disaster occurred in 2008, September, and a sharp downturn in the economy. And advertisers started telling us, I'm canceling my Yellow Page ad for next year. It's the economy's going to be down, and I got to cut costs, and I got to save money. And no, see, when that's not the time to cut your marketing. You need to ramp up your marketing when you're not automatically getting lots of money flowing in. That's when you need to be really smart about your marketing. So if they had cut their costs during the roaring 2000s, they wouldn't be sitting there at 2008 going, I'm in trouble, I better cut my costs. And then the dumbest thing to cut of all is to cut off your top line revenue by cutting your marketing or advertising. So they made that really panicked, dumb decision because they had not prepared throughout the roaring 2000s to look around their business and make cuts and innovations where necessary. Now, not everyone canceled their ads. The smart business owners increased their ads, in fact, increased their marketing and advertising, stole tons of market share from all their former competitors. And when the economy finally turned around only a few years ago, so they had to hang out an extraordinarily unusual 10 years because of the malaise of the Obama economy. But when it finally did come back around, they had taken a lot of the clients, customers, patients, members of their, quote, competitors. And now their competitors said, oh, gee, now it's economy's booming again. I'll ramp up my advertising. Well, ooh, big mistake. You've already lost a lot of your customers. So anyway, next. Number 7, an entrepreneur must be willing to take risks, to risk your own capital and to lose your credit and risk borrowed money as well when, in your considered opinion, the risks are justified. That's real important. Not crazy risks, not ridiculous, head to the casino every night or, get addicted to drugs or, do all kinds of stupid risks. But take the calculated risks. You got to be willing to do that, or else, go work a 9-to-5 job and then complain that the guy that owns the company makes all kinds of money. And it's income inequality. It's so unfair that the owners of the businesses become, multi-millionaires and billionaires while the workers make so much less. Yeah, because you're not willing, the workers, and hopefully that's not you if you're watching my videos, what a waste if you're a 9-to-5 worker. They're not willing to take the risk. They don't deserve the rewards. They don't also get the downturn when it busts. I have, made it and lost it many times over in my business career over the past 4 decades or so. And so, they didn't, I became homeless at one point. They don't suffer those kind of lows. Although, again, in the economy, the recent economy we had, before this current president, there was a lot of trouble. Even if you had a job, there were a lot of crappy jobs, and we're learning in the past maybe 20 years or so that the job security quote of our parents and grandparents is out the window. Companies, lay off and move their headquarters and move their manufacturing plants and merge and get rid of everybody, and they do that on a whim. So even and I would venture to say that the 9-to-5 worker takes much more of a risk than the business owner. Business owner, at least we're in control. If we have a downturn, it's our fault. We didn't get the right advice. We didn't take the right steps. We didn't pay attention and do the right things. The 9-to-5 worker, is totally out of control, and you think you're secure, and then suddenly you're out of a job just because the company decided to close a division or whatever. And then Getty gives a warning here. Borrowed money must always be promptly repaid. Nothing will write fini to a career faster than a bad credit rating. And not just a credit rating with the big credit companies, but with any suppliers, partners, word gets around, that stay away from that person. Don't do a deal with him. Certainly in my world, that gets around. And there's lots of people I stay far away from, and I do a lot of deals and partnerships. Number 8. An entrepreneur must constantly seek new horizons in untapped or underexploited markets. What he's talking about here is the fact that most of the world is eager to buy American products and know-how. Today's shrewd entrepreneur looks to foreign markets. And that was in early 1960s. This was a series of articles that he put into the book, first published in Playboy magazine in the early 60s. And so almost 60 years ago, he said, today's shrewd businessman looks to foreign markets, and, of course, that's true more than ever before with the globalization and the shrinking world, and through technology that hopefully you're looking to untap markets all the time. Number 9, nothing builds confidence and volume faster or better than a reputation for standing behind one's work or products. Guarantees should always be honored, and in doubtful cases, the decision should always be in the customer's favor. A generous service policy should also be maintained. The firm that is known to be completely reliable will have little difficulty filling its order books and keeping them filled. And this is where Getty is pointing out, in not as many words, that a guarantee is a sales tool. That's what a guarantee is. So if you're having a tough time with sales, or sales aren't as much as you want, or you're having trouble raising your prices or getting more profit margin, offer a guarantee that will boost your sales. Risk reversal. You take the risk. Buy our thing because you are under no risk. Tony Hsieh with Zappos, famous for that return policy. A person would say, how can I buy shoes over the computer? Like, every different company has a different idea of what my size, what number, the size is. And Tony Hsieh instructed his people, whether he called them salespeople, customer service people, whatever, I forget. And I did read the book years ago. I forget his book title even, but I read it. Hey, Sid. And he instructed them to say, you know what? Just buy, we'll just ship you, 7.5, 8.5. And you just send back the 2 pairs that don't fit. Boom. So that is revolutionary, but that's what Getty's talking about, having that generous service and return policy. That boosted sales unbelievably, and Tony Hsieh became a billionaire when everyone said he was crazy. That was rule for success, fundamental rule for success, number 9 from J. Paul Getty. And number 10, the last one, no matter how many millions an individual amasses, if he is in business, he must always consider his wealth as a means for improving living conditions everywhere. He must remember that he has responsibilities towards his associates, employees, stockholders, and the public. And this goes to, people with our current president here, this, quote, blue-collar billionaire. And people say, like, how do all the blue-collar workers and the low-educated people, how do they just flock to Trump as if he's one of them? He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, went to Ivy League school, he craps on a gold toilet, he owns a private 767 or whatever. Like, this guy has anything he wants. He's the elite of the elite. Lives in a penthouse tower in Manhattan, New York. He's as elite as it could possibly get. And yet he's seen as the anti-elite, as the everyman. And that's what Getty's talking about here is Trump. I remember reading an article, 10, 15 years ago by Trump saying his goal was for everybody in America to become more wealthy, for everyone in the company to make more money. This is how successful business people think. They want everyone to be more successful because guess what? That's more people to buy our stuff. So, jet ahead 10, 15 years from that, I had articles in the back of my mind as Trump was running for president and now miraculously, won the presidency, is that, it's no surprise to me that Trump is the champion of the lower wage earner, the middle class, worker, the blue collar worker, which all the numbers show that their wages and standard of living is rising faster than the wealthy, no matter what you hear from all the anti-Trumpers that like, this is just a recovery for the rich. Nice try. Blue-collar workers and average American wage earners all know that's not true. They're all doing much better off under Trump, and that's what J. Paul Getty says as well, is that no matter how much money you make, consider your wealth as a means for improving living conditions everywhere. That's the phrase giving back, one of the most misused phrases on earth, by the way. I've talked about that a while ago in one or more of my videos. For most people, they should just leave off the word back. Okay, it's just giving. I met somebody introduced me to his teenage daughter, and she was doing some nonprofit things she started in school, and he was all proud of her, and she was like, yeah, we're giving back. And I'm like, giving back? You don't have anything. You're not giving back, you're just giving, which is really nice. But just say we're giving. We give our time, we give our energy, we give our care, we give our thought, we give our expertise to helping other people. Giving is good. Very few people give back. Okay, professional athletes and entertainers give back. Trump is giving back. He doesn't take a salary, and he's now taken an amazing step down in his lifestyle to move from a penthouse in Manhattan to living in a White House and being, the most hated man in America now. He's always lamenting, gee, the press loved me until I started running for president. And he became hated, hounded, needs constant security, probably for the rest of his life. He'll be threatened and blah, 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 whatever. But he said, it's cliche, right? But he wanted to make America great. He wanted to make the average person, the forgotten man, more money. That's responsibility of every successful business person. So that is the final fundamental rule for success number 10 from J. Paul Getty. And he ends the chapter saying, do you want to make a million? Believe me, you can if you are able to recognize the limitless opportunities and potentials all around you and will apply these rules and work hard. For today's alert, ambitious, and able young people, all that glitters truly can be gold. So take that to the bank from the man who at the time was the richest person on earth, J. Paul Getty, in his book, How to Be Rich, his formulas for success. And so that'll do it, for Foundation Friday. And we'll be back with another part in our multi-part series, Lessons from J. Paul Getty's How to Be Rich, next Foundation Friday. And I'll see you tomorrow on Social Media Saturday. Thanks, everyone, for being here live, watching on the replay, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Over and out. Bye-bye.